We are going to learn how to create thread in Java. There are two methods to create multiple threads in Java. The first method is by inheriting your class from thread class. Thread class comes packed inside java.lang package. So let's begin. First, we have to create our class, let us say A, and we have to inherit it from thread class. So I am simply writing class A extends thread. Now inside class A, we are going to override run method of thread class. I am writing here run method. Run method is heart and soul of a thread. When we will say that thread A is running, then its run method is under execution. So this run methods come inside this thread class. The first method of the thread class that we have used is run. Now inside run method we are going to write a code. Let us say we are writing a for loop with variable I starting from value 0 to I is less than 10 and increment operator. Inside this for loop, let's print a statement system.out.println, and here we are simply writing from class A plus I. That's it. We have created a thread A in which we are going to run a loop from 0 to 10 printing the statement from class A0, from class A1 and so on. Similarly, we are going to create the next class, next thread class. So I am simply copying this code and pasting it. Here I am changing the class name to B and simply replacing the variable I with J, and I am writing the same code over here. The output for this for loop would be from class B plus J. That's it. We have created two threads by extending our class from thread class and overriding the run method. Now let's implement our both A and B thread classes. For that we have to create a next class, let us say demo, and inside demo I am going to create main method. Inside this main method we are going to create objects of thread. So first I am going to create object of thread A. So I am writing the code A. Let us say object name is A1 is equals to new A. And next we are going to create the object of thread B. B1 is equals to new B. Now what we want to do is we want to place these two threads to the runnable state, the waiting queue, from where the CPU dispatcher is going to select a thread and assign it to CPU. So for doing this task we are going to call start method. The start method is going to assign A1 to the runnable state, that is my waiting queue, and the start method again resides in thread class. So from thread class we have used two methods in this program, run method to create the body of the thread and start method to put our thread to the runnable state. Now A1 dot start and B1 dot start, and we are done with our program. Now it's turn to run it. So let's save this program. I am going to save it in my demo folder which is available in desktop, and I have to save it as demo.java. Replace. So done with the coding part. Now it's time to run the program. Let's open terminal. You can open your command prompt if you are working on Windows. Now I am setting the path to the folder where I have saved this program. Now compiling this program. You can see here that my program has been compiled. There is no compile time error. Now it's turn to run this program, and you can see the output here. Java space dim. So you can see here from class B0, class B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, A0, B7, B8, B9, A1, A2, A3, A4 and so on. If we again run this program, you can see the different sequence of execution. Again run this program, you will see the different execution. Here it has run in the sequential order. Here it has run in the multi-threaded order. So the output of this program will be different for different operating systems. It purely depends on CPU scheduling, and for each run you may get a different output. So this was the first method to create your thread. The second method to create your thread is by inheriting your thread class from runnable interface. You have to inherit from runnable interface. Now runnable interface is again available in java.lang package, and the runnable interface contains only one method, that is abstract, which is known as run. As it is an interface, it will contain only abstract methods. So run is the only method available in this runnable interface. Now, how to create the program by inheriting your class from runnable interface? In this scenario, what I am going to do is I am just going to change few lines in this program. You have to create a class by inheriting from runnable interface. So we are going to use keyword implements. Class A implements runnable, and inside runnable we are again going to redefine this run method, which is also available in runnable interface. So in this run method I have done the same code. From class A0 to from class A9 will be printed. Now again creating thread B, class B with thread runnable. So I am going to write implements runnable, and again in this runnable we have used this run method. That's it. In class demo we are again creating threads of A1 and B1, and we are going to call start method. What will happen over here? This start method does not belongs to this runnable interface. This start method does not belongs to class A. It neither belongs to this runnable. So in this case, if we simply call a1.start and b1.start, then our compiler is going to throw an error. Let us see the output first. Let us see what error do our compiler throw. So I am just simply compiling this program, javacdemo.java. You can see the error cannot find the symbol start. Obviously the start neither belongs to class A nor does it belongs to runnable. So what do we do here now? If we simply call a1.run and b1.run, our system is going to put this thread A to the running state, and it is not going to give us the multi-threaded output. So for here we are going to take help of thread class. What we are going to do is we are going to create an object of thread class like this, and we are going to wrap our A1 object inside the thread class T1. Similarly, I am going to create a thread object T2 is equals to new thread, and here I am going to wrap B1. Now A1 and B1, both the thread objects are wrapped inside thread T1 and T2, and T1 and T2 are capable of calling start method because the start method resides inside this thread class. So here I am going to call T1 dot start and T2 dot start. What the logic behind this is, T1 dot start is going to make A1 thread to the runnable waiting queue, and T2 dot start is going to send this B1 thread to the runnable, that is my waiting queue. So we are ready to run this program. Let me save this program first, and I am going to recompile it. You can see we are not getting any error now. So we are going to run this program, and the output again A0, B0, A1, B1, A2, B2, B3, A3, A4 and so on. This depends on your CPU scheduling. So here we have learned how to create threads in Java by two methods. The first method is by inheriting the thread class, and the second method is by inheriting from runnable interface.